Walker, and I'm here to talk about loop schedules and how I plan our family subjects for the year. And I actually have a loop subject for 2 weeks rather than 1 week because I want it to last for 2 years and I don't want to have to plan every year for family subjects. And so anyway, like, comment, do all the things, subscribe, hit the bell, I don't know, do a somersault, whatever. You know what to do. It would really help me out. I'm not trying to be like funny about this. I'm new to YouTube, so like really for real, like it. Okay, so this right here are my loop subjects, and I know it's a lot and I've created some of them, but for instance, I have Character Through Literature, and that's through Beautiful Feet Books. I have Early American Literature from Beautiful Feet Books. Early American History through Beautiful Feet Books. Who is God? Science Revolution. Texas history, and for Texas we have to do a good citizenship, which is like how to be a good person. Texas history is basically social studies, and then story of the world, and then I have a feelings and good citizenship, like how to be a good person, and social intelligence is with the feelings, and then a poetry study, a saint study, which is like church history, and then hymns. I think it'd be really cool to do hymns this year and learning to sing together, and then an artist study, a composer study, and then Around the World Part 1, which we're doing with friends, and so it's like hear and go for like whoever knows how long, and then Seasons of Field. Now Seasons of Field isn't going to actually start until September, and so that's why it's like marked off like yes and no. Anyway, and then what I do is I basically just tape it in my schedule, which I'll flip around and show you in a minute. But what I did was I literally just opened up like a Word document, you can even do this on Google Doc, and I just made a table of all of my subjects here, right here on this side, and I just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the top, and then as I go through it, I'm just gonna mark it in what I did. And so for instance here, like today, I did lesson 3, and I know that this is going to take me about like 1.5 to 2 weeks at a time, which I'm okay with. And so like one of these is really like 2 weeks, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so this is going to cover about mostly my whole entire school year. And so I do, I try to do like feelings and like another subject, or I do, my poetry study with another subject. And so I started doing loop subjects, I believe 1.5 years ago. When I first started homeschooling, I was like, okay, Mondays we're gonna do, history, and then Tuesdays we're gonna do science, and Wednesdays we're gonna do composer study, and then Thursday we're gonna do Texas history, Friday we're gonna do social intelligence. Well, there were a couple weeks where, I work part-time, and so I was working on a project, and it was like, for 8 weeks straight, we had a 2-hour block of just meetings, and I was like, oh my word, I'm missing every single like week on Mondays, I'm missing history or whatever it was at that time slot. And so I came across a video on here that was like, well, if you do loop subject, it's basically, you have your list, and then during a time slot from like, 10 to 11, what you do is you literally just pick up your basket, and then during that time slot, and you just do whatever subject is next on your list. And so for instance, today I did Character Through Literature. Well, then tomorrow I'm going to do Early American History, and then let's say the next day is like a Thursday. Oh my goodness, we have a doctor's appointment. Well, I'm not going to skip Who is God. I'm just going to like on Friday the next day do Who is God. And so that's what I really like about loop subjects, is because I'm not going to be missing a subject if life comes up or something. And as a homeschooling mom of 5 kiddos, there are things that come up. I just don't have one kiddo who's like at tow with me, or in tow, just wherever I am going is right there, like we can do school on the go. I don't have that option to just like pick up on my things, my baby things, my toddler things, my 5-year-old things, I have to be able to sort of have this flexibility, and that's why I really, really like loop subjects. And so here, I'm gonna pick up my camera, you guys. Okay, so here is basically where I keep all of my loop subjects, and I do a label here. So Character Through Literature is here, Early American History is right there with the notebooks, And then on this side, I have my, this is where I keep the planner and the laptop, and then I have Texas history here. I have Who is God here. I have our science revolution here. History of science I was going to do, but I just need to wait a year or two. And then I have penmanship. We do penmanship basically like in the mornings as I'm doing morning time. And I like to kind of go through that during the morning. I don't have it on our loop subject, but I do have it on their weekly checklist. And then I have anatomy right here, and it's the Julia Rotman books here because I was trying to do that last year, and so I just haven't updated that loop subject. I need to basically change it with my other ones over here. And on this bookshelf, on this side is where I keep all of our other subjects. And so here is Seasons of Field, and you guys, it is so beautiful from Beautiful Feet Books. I absolutely love it. And then here in this bin, I have our hymns, and then I have our hymns in this one, and then I actually subscribe to this science magazine, so I have this in here for the bigger kids to look at, and the map of the United States. And then I have our art study here and our composer study, and I might do a video on what each of these things mean pretty soon, like how I created it and everything else. And then I have our poetry study in here, and I believe that's it. And so we are doing Shakespeare, so I'm going through Shakespeare, illustrated Shakespeare, which is kind of cool. And then I want to read to them. I got this other bundle of like Shakespeare books, and I want to read to them as well. So those are the family loop subjects that we're doing, and I like to get my notebooks from Amazon, and these ones I really like because they are just really small, so they go with my yearly subject, and you know, they are double lined, and my kiddos are able to sort of like color on this side what they're gonna do. And then for Seasons of Field, I actually got them like fancier ones because I think it'd be really cool for them to save, and I can link that down here too. And so we haven't started this again because I believe it starts with like, you know, the season fall and like how that kind of looks and finding different things. But I also have these notebooks here to help with our loop subjects, because sometimes it says like to sketch something or to draw something, and I want them to be able to sketch, and they can cut it and like paste it in their notebooks. And anyway, so that's kind of what we're doing for loop subjects. If you have any questions, let me know. And I know that it seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but I kind of like us, you know, flowing through it as we're going. And you know, we're on week 5, I believe it is, and we've only gone through like 1 or 2 of some of the lessons, and I'm okay with that. Like, I know it's gonna last, you know, 2 years and everything else, and I think that the kiddos kind of like that they're getting a little bit of Shakespeare and a little bit of Vincent van Gogh, and they're learning, you know, science, and they're learning early American history, and they're learning about composers, and you know, then we get to listen to the music during the week, and we have this like list of like the different composers that we can listen to. And so I just like that we're learning about so many different things together and flowing with it. And anyway, I really like that. Let me know what kind of loop subjects you guys do, and if you have tried it, and if you want to try it, when are you going to start it? And I know we go through we do time blocks, and so I have morning time, we do our loop, and then I have lessons with Samuel. I put the baby down, and then I do lunch, and then I do my work hours. When I'm doing my work hours, my big kids are doing their independent work, and then after I'm done with my work hours, I do lessons with the girls, and then we basically do chores and dinner. But anyway, so that's just a little highlight of our routine. But like, subscribe, and we will talk to you soon. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.